Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here. Welcome back to our weekly recap where we recap everything that's happened in cryptocurrency over the course of the past week. So today we're going to be looking at some charts, talking about some news, and hopefully correlating the two. So if you guys are interested, go and stick around for the video, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. But let's go ahead and get right on into this. So as you guys can see, mostly everything's in the green today. We're looking at a lot of the altcoins, along with Bitcoin even up some in US dollar price evaluation. So this is some good, some much needed green. And as we go through here, coins like XRP and EOS are certainly up a little bit more than some of the other mainstream altcoins. But if we go ahead and look at our charts over here, what we've seen so far since our last weekly recap is that Bitcoin itself has broken out of this downwards channel that we had it in. A lot of other analysts had it in this channel as well, but we've actually broken out of that. Now, the sad things here is that we haven't had too good a volume or price movement. We've seen some major resistance points that have already gone ahead and drawn up on a line here. So one of the major things to note is that we haven't had a candle body closing above $6,500 in just over a week now. So of course we've had some candles penetrate through these lines, but we've not had a candle close. So we might see our first candle close above this $6,500 line for the first time in almost 2 weeks, which would be good because this candle closes in about 10 minutes, and that would be some, it'd be a step in the right direction for the most part. However, what we really need to see is we need to see Bitcoin close above 6,650, which is just right up here. If we could get that, that would be a major point. And that would put us just under our 200-day EMA for Bitcoin. So still a little bit of moving area, but we're seeing ourselves start hooking on the 50-day EMA, which is pretty good. However, if we want to see a nice breakout, especially from something like this, we want to see this happen with a little bit more volume, a little bit more momentum, and we want to see ourselves kind of push out, not struggle to get out where we've had like essentially the last 2 weeks of just kind of poking and trying to feel ourselves out, then falling back down, then coming back up. Usually if you want to break out of a channel like this, you want to hook and then break out with some nice momentum, but nonetheless we are on our way back upwards here. So I'd like to see these 2 points be broken, and then for us to hook initially on the $6,650 mark. I think if we can hook up there, it would be a pretty easy ride all the way up to the 200-day EMA, and then hopefully if we could hook on that, we would see ourselves into a full-on bullish market reversal from this downwards trend line that we had over here. So in addition to this, we can go ahead and take a look at the MACD and the RSI. On the MACD, we are seeing a little bit of bearish divergence happen, as we are seeing lower levels of positive momentum coming through on the MACD. Now this generally is not a good thing. Generally means that we have a little bit of negative momentum to come in here. We'll see how well this is respected, but for the most part this is telling us that there is potential bearish divergence coming into the market. Not saying it's certain, but something to definitely look at. Now this is our RSI. We're starting to peak up a little bit towards the oversold zone, not completely in it yet, still in a pretty medium ground here, looking at just our median. But if you guys have followed me on Twitter or are in the Discord server, both of those are linked in the description below, you guys would know that I've been posting about this, saying that hey, the negative momentum is getting dried up. You're seeing seller exhaustion from Bitcoin, and we're looking like we're going to have some good price action coming. I've been talking about people in probably over 2 or 3 discords, as well as the people who've been privately messaging me from my server, telling them, hey, this is looking pretty bullish, this is looking nice, and of course here we go, we're seeing price action in Bitcoin rise. So for the most part, I think that we're done with a lot of these lower lows for Bitcoin. I don't think we're gonna break $5,000. I was talking to an analyst today, someone who's been in the market for around 6 or 7 years now. Very well respected guy. I have a lot of respect for him. He doesn't think that we're ever gonna break below $5,000, and I'm gonna stand with him on that and say I don't even think we're gonna touch $5,000. I think for the most part, a lot of this mad selling sprees that we've seen in Bitcoin over the course of this year are for the most part over. I think that we've hit yearly lows down here at 5,700. I don't think we're going to go below that, but of course it's possible that we do, but that's my prediction. I know I'm in the minority here, but what I've really realized in my time in cryptocurrency over the past couple of years is that the majority is almost always wrong. I don't know, this might be a topic for a separate video, but the majority for cryptocurrency is almost entirely and always wrong. And so I've learned myself to not associate myself with the majority, but actually go with the minority. And I'm not just saying I'm always counterculture. If there's clear bearish divergence or clear bad news, then of course I'm bearish. But if I'm hearing people just make these wild price predictions of we're going to hit $4,000 or $3,000 on Bitcoin, you know what? It's the same thing of people saying we're going to hit 100K by the end of the year, right? I personally don't believe either of those. But for the most part, I do think that we have hit yearly lows. I don't think we're going to come back down and break below $5,700. So that's my prediction. Of course, it could be wrong, but take that as it will. Let's go ahead and move on here to Ethereum and look at some of the altcoins, because if you guys have not realized already, the altcoins have been following Ethereum instead of Bitcoin. Now, there's numerous reasons as to why this could be, but the altcoins are starting to do something that we haven't seen since around, it was actually around since December and January of this past year, which is where the altcoins were separating themselves from Bitcoin and acting independently. Now, this is what I have for Ethereum here, and we're having Ethereum start rising, looking like it could go test this top line of support. We could see what happens here. But Ethereum looks like it's rallying, and with Ethereum rallying, you're having all the altcoins. So this is something unique that you have when Ethereum is going up, you have all the altcoins going up, and when a Bitcoin is essentially just standing still or maybe moving up and down a little bit, you have the altcoins not patching themselves and not tethering themselves to Bitcoin, which is very unique. Again, we haven't seen this in around 8 months. If we go back to our chart over here, as long as Ethereum can hook itself on this 50-day, this would be very nice, because you have a little bit of support right here. You're going to have your 50-day EMA. So if you can hook this candle on top of that 50-day EMA and hold it, then it's looking like it's pretty nice ground for Ethereum. Maybe even break itself out of this little falling wedge that we have drawn. And I mean, the measured move on that would be pretty ridiculous for the most part. So we'll see whether or not this plays out. Again, very little touch points, so we don't have anything to affirm us and say that this is going to happen yet, but it is looking a little bit bullish for Ethereum. Here we are, we're looking at ourselves, we're still growing with more levels of positive momentum on our MACD. You saw yourselves have a quadruple bottom over here on Ethereum. I mean, just shouting that seller exhaustion was all over this altcoin market. And then of course on our RSI, we are shooting back up. I was talking to people about the Ethereum RSI. This is a new line that I had drawn. I forget why I was messing around with this one, but I was telling people that the Ethereum was looking like a beautiful trade. I went ahead and I bought some Ethereum for myself. Of course, I am not regretting that decision at all right now. But you're starting to see the altcoins rally to Ethereum rather than to Bitcoin. Whether or not that's going to last is a separate discussion, but you are seeing something different happen in the market. You're not seeing what you're traditionally used to. I mean, you've been seeing more on the news side of things. You've been seeing the whole ETF problem play out, and people are starting to realize how silly it was that the entire market went into a bear trend for the sole reason of ETFs within the United States were postponed. Not canceled, but postponed. People were realizing that that was a very silly ideology, and you're seeing the market start turning around, because what you have is you have littler countries saying, oh, well, if the United States isn't going to do it, if they're going to wait, if they're going to essentially be weird about this, they go, okay, well, we will. And so what you have is you have smaller countries, especially ones within Asia, that are going ahead and approving ETFs. I just read something. I want to say it was from it was one of the semi-large countries in Asia. It might have even been Thailand that just approved 10 government-approved ETFs for cryptocurrencies. And so what you have is you have smaller countries saying, hey, United States, if you guys don't want to do it, if you guys don't want to lead the charge, we will too. We'll test it. I mean, we've seen this time and time again within cryptocurrencies, where you have smaller countries test things that larger countries won't. And what I mean by this is that you have smaller countries take the leap of faith first because they have less to lose and so much more to gain. I mean, if they are the first country to do it successfully, then they're making milestones, while other countries are essentially just sitting around. So unique stuff is happening over here. I mean, again, you are seeing movement and stuff that we haven't seen in a while happen in cryptocurrency. We're making a lot of progress. So good stuff happening for the most part. There hasn't been too much news that's happened in the past week here because of just, I guess, again, just seller exhaustion. A lot of the stuff that you see whenever you go to the news tab, and we can even type it in here maybe, is that everything's just talking about price movements. I know XRP just had some news came out about them getting added to some new exchanges or getting utilized in new places, which is awesome. Probably partial to the reason that they're up 22.5% right now. But other than that, there really hasn't been too much news going on in the market. Again, when you see mad seller exhaustion, news tends to slow down. people start realizing that they can no longer put out news articles talking about how bad cryptocurrency is, because they've realized that if they do during a bull market, it just doesn't really make any sense. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. We're going to go ahead and bring this to an end. If you guys, of course, do have any questions, do not forget to comment those in the comment section below, or you guys can send them to me over Discord. I will have the Discord link and my Twitter link in the description below, so you guys can follow or join in on either of those if you guys so desire to. So thank you guys once again for watching the video. This has been the Crypto Analyst, and I will see you guys in the next video.